I just went totally cross-eyed when I took a sip of that. Alright, so today it is Foundation Friday. This is the first foundation video. We're back after 15 days of foundation. I do Foundation Friday every single Friday on my channel. I have a whole playlist with all the other Foundation Friday videos, so I will link that down below. But today we're talking about a powder foundation, which is a little bit different. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Airbrush Foundation. This is one of those products that has been on my to-buy list for literally years, like since this came out pretty much. I have tried the Tarte Amazonian Clay Liquid Foundation. I think I have a super old, probably super embarrassing video on it. Let me know if you'd want to see that again, because I feel like I don't even remember what I thought of it. I don't think I liked it, but we could try it out again and see how it goes. But as soon as I read that this is supposed to be full coverage, I'm into it. So this product comes in 16 shades. I have the shade Fair Honey, which says fair skin with peach undertones. This is the lightest shade. This product retails for $36 and you get 0.247 ounces of product in here. Just for comparison, the Laura Geller Double Take Baked Powder Foundation has 0.35 ounces of product, and the It Cosmetics Celebration Foundation Illumination has 0.3 ounces of product. This one does have a little bit less product in it. It is a loose powder. Both of these are pressed powder foundations. So I'm on Ulta's website right now. Let's read some of the claims. Okay, what? This says it's infused with light reflecting gemstones. So this is vegan, it's supposed to be waterproof. It says it's a full coverage, weightless powder formula that's offered in a wide range, blah, blah, blah. Lasts for 12 hours. It has a bunch of different things in it. It has Amazonian clay, tourmaline, pearl powder, camellia leaf extract. So you guys will see this in the demo, but the mesh delivery system that they're talking about is this. It actually has this kind of cupped area right here, and then there's a little mesh thing right here where you just press the brush into, versus a normal loose powder where you have to kind of tap it out, put it into the lid or something. So I thought that was really cool. I also really liked how they have this in the lid, which I don't know if you guys can see this, but it has this little thing sticking out. So when you actually screw on the lid, it's pressing against the mesh thing. So if you're traveling or if you drop this or something, you're not gonna get a ton of powder falling out in the lid or anything. So I do appreciate the packaging design on this. I have combination skin with cystic acne. My skin has been acting up again. Who knows? I usually get pretty oily throughout the day on my T-zone. If you're excited to have Foundation Friday starting up again, give this video a thumbs up so I know. So if you want to see how the Tarte Amazonian Clay Airbrush Powder Foundation applies and wears throughout the day, you're in the right place. Just keep watching. Ooh. Coffee just literally almost spilled everywhere. Oh man, get your shit together, Taylor. Okay, so it's 9:30 right now. I've had an interesting morning. I don't even know what I'm wearing. All of my makeup is completely packed away right now, so luckily I was able to dig out this foundation for today's video. What is going on? What is going on right now? So I've already washed, moisturized, primed my face. I use my Jolie Anti-Blemish Matte Primer like usual. And since this is a powder foundation, I am going to spot conceal first, just because with any powder foundation, I would definitely spot conceal first. If you don't have acne and scarring and stuff to cover up, you obviously wouldn't need to do this. So to spot conceal, I'm going to use my Wet n Wild Cum Correct Celebrity Concealer, and then for under my eyes, I'm going to use my Tarte Shape Tape. When you're going in with a powder, you want to put on all of your liquid cream products first. You don't want to put any kind of liquids on top of powder afterwards, or you're just going to get really weird texture going on. I rarely use powder foundations. I actually usually use them to set my makeup, just because they typically give you a little bit more coverage than just a setting powder. But I have to be having a damn good skin day to just be able to wear a powder foundation usually. The It Cosmetics Celebration Foundation Illumination actually does give you pretty good coverage alone if you kind of layer it up a little bit. But typically I do prefer liquid foundation on my skin. This Wet n Wild concealer is insane. You need like the tiniest bit and it covers everything. I'm actually just going to use my finger to kind of tap this in. And you will still be able to see how the powder covers, because my skin is nowhere near flawless, even with spot concealing. Okay, so I think that's all the spot concealing we're gonna do. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. So hopefully you can see all this, but I still do have definitely scarring and just unevenness that I need to cover up with the powder, hopefully. Here's the packaging, pretty kind of frosted. This isn't glass, this is definitely plastic, but looks like glass. So the cool thing about this is that it has this little mesh thing. I'm pretty sure what you do is just press your brush in there and it actually picks up the amount, so you don't have to like tap it out or anything like with loose powders. So I have a few different brush options I'm going to try. The first one is the Morphe E44. This is what I usually use for powder if I want more coverage. Like this is what I use with my Laura Geller and my It Cosmetics powders. I might try this flimsier one. This is the E1. This one is good for more of like buffing. This one you can't do a whole lot of buffing with just because it is stiffer. And then I also might try my Coastal Scents BR110 brush. This is technically not a powder brush, but I use it for setting powder and I do really like this one too. I feel like this gives me really good coverage with powder, so I might try this. Online it says you're supposed to start from the center of your face and buff outwards. Since I put that concealer on, I'm gonna first kind of press the powder in and then try and do some blending. But if I just go in and buff right now, I don't think I'm gonna get a whole lot of coverage, but we'll see. So I'm gonna start with the E44, I think, on this side of my face. Ooh, that's cool. So you just press it right in there and it just picks up the product for you. Why doesn't every loose powder have this? That's kind of genius. All right, so let's see. So I'm gonna first, I think, kind of stipple this on. When I'm buffing down here on my neck to cover up the heat rash, some acne down here, it isn't covering a whole lot. Okay, it just covered the redness on my nose really well. I'm gonna try this 110 brush on my forehead, I think. I think I definitely like the first one better. So I just want to stipple this on first so I'm not blending away any of the concealer. And then I think I'm going to go in with a little bit more and buff. I mean, I am getting some coverage for sure. Doesn't look totally full coverage right now. Looks like about low medium coverage, I would say, which is pretty good for a powder. I'm going to take that really big brush, the E1, on this side and just see what happens. I really like this little mesh thing. This is super cool. Ooh, okay, wait, hold up. I think I might actually like the less dense brush a little bit better. That just covered pretty well. This might be like the Bare Minerals foundation where you do have to like buff it to get the coverage. It isn't totally full coverage. You can definitely still see stuff coming through. I don't really like the way it's looking on my forehead right now. It's a little bit textured on my forehead, but that could have just been the brush I used. So I'm gonna try and go in and buff everything again with a little bit more product. This side of my face is looking really nice. I do like this side better right now than this side. This one's looking actually a little bit heavy. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but you can actually see pores right here, which is kind of weird. So let's go in with a little bit more on the E1 brush. And I think this time I'm just gonna like buff. Hope that I don't rub off concealer. Shade-wise, I think this is actually working. If it doesn't oxidize, I actually think this matches pretty well. I do have a lot of texture on my forehead right now, so I don't think it's totally the product. I have a lot of like tiny bumps coming in. I think one of the products during 15 days of foundation like totally wrecked my skin. I have a ton of under the skin little white things. Still not getting very good coverage down here. I think it looks like solid medium coverage. It feels very lightweight. Obviously it's a powder. It doesn't feel like I really have anything on. I think it layers fine. It doesn't look cakey or anything really anywhere. I can tell you off the bat, just with the application and coverage and everything, I probably wouldn't use this again by itself, even with spot concealing, just because it doesn't look quite as flawless as I usually like. Even if I wanted something quick, I think it would just be easier to go in with the liquid foundation or stick foundation really quick. This could be good for actually using to set your foundation, which is definitely how I'll try it next time. It actually doesn't have a totally matte finish, which I really like. It does have a little bit of a satin finish to it. You can kind of see light reflecting off my face a little bit, which I love. I think it makes it look more like skin. So this could be really nice as a setting powder actually. I go with my Stargazer powder to set the under eyes. So it is now 9:59, 10 o'clock. We're calling it check-in time, 10 o'clock. I'm gonna go do the rest of my makeup. Like I said, everything is packed away, so I'm just gonna do something super, super basic today. Okay, so it's now 10:20, the rest of my makeup is on. Blush, bronzer, highlight, blended out, totally fine on top. I mean, I would hope, putting powder on top of powder. I walked out of this room and looked in bathroom lighting, and I actually really like the shade of this. The next check-in I do will be in natural lighting so we can see how it looks then. But right now it's looking really nice. But I really have no complaints right now. I did use a setting powder on the, I did use a setting spray on the rest of my face. I used the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set, and I feel like that kind of took it to the next level. It kind of just settled everything on my face and it looks really nice now. If you're using any kind of powder foundation, I would say you definitely want to set your face just so it's not moving around throughout the day or anything. I'm addicted to setting sprays. I use them every day regardless, but on the rest of my face, I use the MAC Baby Don't Go blush slash, this is what I use as a bronzer. Wet n Wild Color Icon Mellow Wine blush. e.l.f. Illuminating palette, the shade right here is what my highlight is. And then my eyes are the Modern Renaissance palette. I just used Golden Ochre and Raw Sienna from this palette. Lips are Rimmel 710 First Class Nude. And then I just topped it with the Anastasia Butterscotch lip gloss. Is that everything? Yeah, so that's everything on my face. Next check-in I do, like I said, will be in natural lighting. I will see you guys in a few hours. Okay, so it's now 4 o'clock. I'm currently attempting to get a Postmate right now. All I need right now in life is a burger. Every Postmate is currently taken. So the foundation's been on for 6 hours at this point. I was originally planning on checking in at 2, but I ended up being out. I just got home a little bit ago. So let's take a look. For being on for 6 hours, it looks freaking awesome right now. This lighting isn't really doing it justice because I have a weird kitchen light right there and there's not a whole lot of natural light coming in right now, but hopefully you guys can see what it looks like in the Hobby Lobby lighting, in the bathroom, and in, you know, in that aisle where they have 5,000 mirrors. It looked really nice, super smooth. It looks a little bit textured on my forehead, but again, that's just kind of my forehead right now. It looks really nice around my nose. I think for 6 hours, it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna edit, get some work done, and then I will check back with you guys at the end of the night. Hopefully, I will have found a burger. All right, so it's now 9:56, so the foundation's been on for almost exactly 12 hours. It does say that this foundation is supposed to last 12 hours. So first off, oil-wise, I think it looks really good. It's controlled my oil really well. My forehead looks a little bit dewy, but nothing crazy oily like I can get sometimes. I'm getting some major separation on my chin and also on my forehead. If you weren't this close to my face, I don't think you could really tell a whole lot, but it does look a little bit heavy around my nose area, separation on my chin and my forehead, like I said. But with that being said, for being a powder foundation, I feel like this lasted really well throughout the day. It stayed on for the most part. Kind of concluding thoughts, if you're someone who likes powder foundations, I think this one might be worth giving a go. If you have dry skin, powder foundation probably isn't the best for you. I would say this is more for normal to oily. For me, I probably won't use this by itself again, but I definitely want to try setting my foundations with this because I really like the shade of it. I think it'd be just the right amount of coverage on top of foundation where it just gives you that little something extra. So I'm going to keep playing around with this one. I think this will just be one of those products that totally depends on if you like powder foundations. Oh, update, because I know you just can't wait to know. I did get a burger. It was amazing. So I'm gonna go take off my makeup, put on a face mask, finish editing. If you like this video and you're excited for Foundation Fridays to continue, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.